Hi, it's Craig Calder on digital media at AdTech 2010 with Michel Giasson.
Giasson,
From Canada. Michel is with NuCaptcha. And one of the reasons we wanted to get on is because it's a personal peeve of mine. All of those codes that you have to write in when you register for something, and it inevitably takes 2 or 3 times because you never get it right. And you guys have come up with a solution that hopefully solves that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So what we've done is we have a solution that really, instead of using a static image captcha, we now have put it into a video. And the beauty of that is that because of the ability, the cognitive ability of humans, we can actually see motion fairly easily, so that we can determine whether or not, the 3 letters moving on the screen that you can see now. So an example that I use is if you see 3 cars on the highway, you can actually determine that there are 3 individual cars. A computer, though, will simply see a blob of steel. So that principle applies to our CAPTCHA, so that it makes it easier for people to read. So you don't need to see, 5 or 6 or 7 letters that are squished together. You only see 3 distinct letters that are easy to read.
Now, is it integrated into any video or specific video or advertisements?
So it's actually a messaging platform, so you can use it for any kind of message. So it could be a corporate message, could be a goodwill message, and of course it could be a third-party advertisement.
Because it makes sense to make it do double duty and actually provide value for the publisher, as well as getting sign-ups for their whatever product they're looking to push.
Yeah, entirely. So right now there are about 10 billion captchas that are solved per month, but typically they're not monetized. So there's a real security need for CAPTCHA, but while you're doing that security function, why not also have a reason for, or an opportunity for publishers to make money?
And so what are the clients you're seeing the most interest from right now?
Types of clients. We're seeing it in a whole bunch of areas, but for example, gaming portals, obviously e-commerce sites where they have an ability to cross-promote. So if you're buying a particular product, it's the old Amazon model, right? If you like this book, you'll like this book. So this gives you an opportunity to show, and what we call it is it gives you an opportunity to show a product at the action point on the net where people are focused, because that's how CAPTCHAs work, right? You have to complete them in order to get to the next step. So you've got focused attention, and there's not a lot of that on the net when you think about it.
Have you done any research comparing your CAPTCHA method as opposed to the traditional CAPTCHA method? Do you see a higher uptake?
Yeah, so there's independent studies. For example, on the usability side, that's key, right? So because it's all about conversions on a community, on an online community. So if you've got the typical CAPTCHA that are the usual static letters, they have a 75% success rate. What that means is that you have 25% of people who fail, just can't do the CAPTCHA. I'm the same way. With NuCaptcha, we have a 97% success rate because of that video technology I was telling you about.
Excellent. And Michel and I were talking about something that was interesting to me. You're from Vancouver, BC.
Yep.
And I mentioned that I see a lot of new startups coming out of Vancouver. It seems like, obviously, it's very close to Seattle. And it seems like it's a very fertile environment for startups and entrepreneurs. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, a couple of things. I mean, one, I think there's a tremendous amount of talent there. It attracts talent, partly because it's a beautiful place to live, but also, to be frank, there's a tax regime that's really beneficial for startups where you can, we call it scientific research and development tax credits, where basically startups have the ability to, if you put in $1, you'll get $1.40 out of it. So it's a real...
And when you're a startup, every dollar counts.
It totally counts.
Well, thank you, Michel.
My pleasure.
Again, this is Craig Calder from On Digital Media at AdTech with NuCaptcha.
Thank you.